When it comes to surfing here on the South Shore of Massachusetts, the waves aren't huge, but there are some fantastic spots. So in this video, I'm gonna go through my favorite surf spots here on the South Shore. So in this video, I'm gonna go through some of my favorite surf spots here on the South Shore. And don't worry, for all you locals, I'm not gonna expose any surf breaks that nobody can just Google as it is. But as a surfer, as somebody who lives here on the South Shore, there aren't a ton of good surf spots. So if you are one of those people that love surfing, that is looking to live here on the South Shore, and you potentially are prepared to surf in freezing cold weather during the wintertime, then this video is for you. And by the way, my name is Sean Murphy with Living on the South Shore. If you have any questions about any towns here on the South Shore or about moving and relocating to this area, comment below, or you can get my contact info in that description. You can email me, text me, call me, or even get a Zoom call scheduled. But without further ado, let's dive into my top surf spots here on the South Shore. Now, my top spot, and the one I'm going to start off with, is Nantasket Beach in Hull, Massachusetts. Now, I love Nantasket Beach mostly because I live in the neighboring town in Hingham, so it's a short drive. It takes me about 10 minutes to get there. There's also ample parking. The beach is huge, so there's a bunch of tiny little breaks. So they're going to differ depending on which one you choose. But when a good swell comes in, this beach is a top spot to go. You can go there with your longboard. You can go there with a stand-up paddleboard. There's a lot of options depending on the size of the waves and how they are breaking. Now, the other huge part to Nantasket Beach is after you're done surfing, there's a lot of restaurants right there that you can park your car nearby, you can change out of your wetsuit, and you can just go get a drink, you can go get a bite to eat. But the water here, as most of you probably know, you mostly need a wetsuit almost year round here. There's a month or two out of the summer where if you're doing stand-up paddleboard, you can get away with just some board shorts. But for the most part, you're gonna need a 3/4 or even a 5/6, depending if you're going in the wintertime. But Nantasket Beach, when there's a swell, it hits this spot really, really well. Next spot is in Scituate. Now, there are a couple of spots here in Scituate. One I am not going to mention because this is a favorite among locals, so if you do end up moving to Scituate, you can find somebody in town that might let you in on one of these. But the two that we're gonna go through, number one, Egypt Beach. Now, Egypt Beach is a rocky beach, but again, when that swell comes in, much like Nantasket, you're getting some very, very, very good waves there. Now, it totally depends on the tides as well, so you gotta check the tides and make sure you know what is the best tide for this beach. But Egypt Beach is a great spot for surfing. Easy parking, there's a parking lot there that, especially during the wintertime, almost nobody is there. So easy parking, you got a good path right to the beach, and it's a great spot to catch some local waves. Next up is Hummerock Beach. Now, this is very similar to Nantasket. It's a super long beach, but again, get some good waves when there's a good, solid swell coming in. But these waves, just like Nantasket, they're not always the perfectly clean breaking waves. It depends on the tide. It depends on what part of the beach you're choosing. But both of these, Egypt Beach and Hummerock Beach in Scituate, are awesome spots to go surfing. Next up is in Marshfield, is Wrexham Beach. Now, this is connected to Hummerock Beach in Scituate, but it's a totally different parking lot, totally different entrance. But again, when a good swell comes in, this is a fantastic spot to grab some waves. And then, of course, Marshfield has a ton of restaurants nearby. It's even got the Levitate Surf Shop nearby, Levitate Backyard, to grab some margaritas and some tacos afterwards. But Wrexham Beach, top spot, definitely a good one to put on your list of spots here on the South Shore. Now, last up is Duxbury Beach. Duxbury Beach is a private beach. So if you want to go surf these waves, you're either going to have to pay for parking if you're a non-resident or get a resident sticker, then you can park at the beach there. But this beach also offers drive-on parking, but that is something, again, you need a permit for, and you got to plan way ahead of time. But this beach gets some great waves when there's a good swell coming in, just like Nantasket, a lot like Hummerock. It's a very long beach, so there's a bunch of different breaks and a bunch of different locations. Now, one thing about Duxbury that some of these other beaches don't get, every now and then there are great white shark sightings, so sometimes this water gets shut down. Just something to keep in mind as you're out there thinking about where to go surfing. Now, this all being said, these are the consistent surf spots here on the South Shore. But when a good swell does come in, some of these smaller, tinier beaches can produce some good waves. One of those being Rocky Beach, aka Black Rock Beach in Cohasset, where there is a good swell and the tide is right. This can put off some nice, clean breaking waves that I've seen some people surf every now and then. I've never surfed it myself, but I've driven by on the way to some basketball games or soccer games or whatever and seen the waves breaking and been a little jealous that I haven't been out there. But one of these days I'm gonna get there, and when I do, I will post a video about it. But there you have it, guys. There are some of the best surf spots that you can surf locally here on the South Shore. And one thing I do want to mention, all varieties of surfers hit these spots. You have beginners, you have people that have been surfing for 30 years, you have longboarders, you have stand-up paddle surfers. It's a spot that anybody at any level and experience can handle and they can enjoy. It's a fantastic spot to learn how to surf, but it's also a great spot to keep just your surfing career going. So don't forget, guys, subscribe to this channel, share this video with someone else that loves surfing. But if you're thinking about moving or relocating here to the South Shore and you have any questions about any of these towns, comment below, or again, check the description for my contact information and we can even get a Zoom call scheduled. But as always, thank you for watching. I hope this video has helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.